Good morning, everybody. How you doing today? Well, here it is Monday morning, and I'm going to start on the Gen House project once again. I got the doors made, and we're going to try to hang the door today and make up the trim area so I can mount my hinges. And I'll show you what I mean. I have to get the table saw out, and I'm going to remove this, and I'm going to lay a piece of 1/2-inch plywood. I'm going to cut it down. That'll go from here to here. I think what I might do is remove. I'm not sure about removing this, but down here I'm going to remove this so that I'll have a flat piece of plywood. I'm gonna paint this all redwood. I don't need to have the shed accent with white here. So we need to mount the hinges, and in order to do that we have to have a flat surface, of course. So that's what I want to work on next. And then I want to, in this corner here, I want to put a stop. These clamps are just to hold my door here from falling in when I'm taking measurements, but I want to make a stop up in the corner here. This will be the stop for the bottom corner. I don't want to put any cleats here because I need the full width. I don't want to take any more room up than that. And of course at the hinge side I don't need any cleats at all. These here are the hinges that I had on the original generator house with the metal cover. So I just took and spray painted them yesterday. And these will be mounted over here. These will be mounted here, but they're going to be mounted like this. But what I'm going to do is naturally get, like I said, put the trim, put some more 1/2-inch plywood here so it'll be all flush out with the door, and then it'll be mounted here. So I'll either add a piece here or I'll remove this and make one complete piece here of 1/2-inch plywood, but I'm not sure yet. We're going to work on that now. So when we get the 2 hinges here, door will open this way. We'll make some kind of a locking arrangement here, so when I remove this, which is temporarily held in place by these 2 pieces of wood, then I can unhook this door. Alright, I decided to put a piece of furring strip in here, even though we're going to have a seam here, but I'm not going to worry about that. It's all going to be painted redwood instead of having it white like it is now. Okay, up here, a 1/4-inch thick piece of plywood for a trim coming out the same width as this. I'll do it on the table saw. We'll cover up this mess here because this stock is 3/4, this is half, so I need another 1/4-inch. So that'll bring me just about flush with this here, close enough. So I just got it laid in there now, and I'm going to paint this redwood, touch it up a little bit, and then nail it in there. Okay, I've been busy for the past hour or so. We got the furring strip here to flush this out. We got the 1/4-inch Luan. This is the same Luan that fell apart on me, delaminated when I had that original generator house cover. If you had been following my videos that I made a year or so ago, they're just all delaminated. But I put a lot of oil based paint on the backside and everything else, and made a trim and it flushed it out. It's still a little wet. Now I'm ready to put the hinges on top of this. But over here in this corner, we're not going to put cleats on here because we don't want to take any width away, even though it's only 3/4 of an inch. So I'll show you what I'm going to do. I cut up some mending plates because they're quite long, so I cut one in half and then I cut a corner off, and I'm going to show you how I'm going to do this now. Okay, come over here with me, I'll show you. Right into my little outhouse here. Okay. What I am going to do is mount this. This won't interfere with the big side door. I'm going to mount this here, like that. I don't mind a little cleat here, I can't really put a block of wood here because we got a 2x3 on the edge like this, and there's only roughly about a 1/2 inch. You see where this clamp is that I put here? There's only a 1/2 inch here, so you really can't nail a block of wood here successfully and expect it to stay there to act as a doorstop. So this will be nailed here, but before it gets nailed here, come around the other side. In there, I'll cut and mount a 1/2 inch piece of plywood onto this metal right here. It'll be the same shape. It'll be a triangle shape that you see right here, and that'll be my doorstop for this top left. This will be the doorstop for the bottom. I gotta come out another 1.25 inches here, not 1.5 inches. I think it comes out about 1.25 inches, so that my 2x3, maybe even as little as 1 inch. I can rip it down on a table saw. So that'll be the stop for the bottom. No need to have stops here because the hinges are going to be here. So I'll come back on the video when I get this made up. It's easier to mount that little piece of wood on here with these nail holes here rather than to try to do it when it's up there. Now put the whole shebang up there, and you'll see how it comes out when I get done. I stand corrected 2 pieces because a 2x3 is 2.5 inches and a 2x4 is 3.5 inches. So we need a 1 inch piece of wood. So what we're going to do is we're going to glue these 2 together and drive a couple of real small nails in here, smallest I can find, and then we're going to very gently nail it to the holes that are in the mending plate. So we're going to do that, and we'll get back to you in very short order here. So don't go away. Okay, here's what I made. This goes in like this. I'll paint this first a little bit, but it's no biggie because no water's going to get in there anyways. It goes like this. It's nailed in here. I only got one number 3 galvanized in here, and I got a number 3 going the other way to hold these 2 pieces together with some Elmer's glue. So that's how she goes in there, and there's your stop. There's your stop, and so I can take out this clamp. So I'll mount that in here. So that's how she be. And when you put a 2x3 in here, she comes right to the edge of where the plywood is right there. And when the plywood door is closed, she'll be flushed out with this. Okay, there she be. And she won't get in the way of this door going in and out. I don't need one there because the hinges are going to take care of that business. But temporarily I'll keep this here so that the door don't fall in when I'm putting the hinges on. Now I got to work on a stop down here at the bottom. Like I say, it might be about a 1 inch wide piece. I'll take some careful measurements and try it. Before I put the door up there to fit it and everything, of course I cut another piece of another piece of plywood, painted the backside and the edges, and we just got to paint the front. So now we got flushed out all the way through here. So now we can put the door in and get the measurement down there. Okay, I established that it's not 1 inch or 3/4 because all these boards are not even. They were when I put them in here, but they're no longer flush out. They're no longer flushed out. They were when I put them in, because I made very sure of that. But I could have brought the wood out more when I originally made this floor, but I wasn't sure exactly how my plans were going to be on this. But anyways, you see where this line is? Well, that's the 2x3 width, flush with the plywood that's going to be on the door, which is going to be flush with this piece that I just showed you that I put in. So the door is going to come up against that like that. You can't go by this because this is just an extra piece to support the door and keep the mice out. You have to go over here, and you look there, she's flush with the edge of this 2x4 here, and this is going to be, this represents the door which has 2x3s, as I showed you in an earlier video, and the plywood on the door has 1/2 inch, so it'll be flush with this. So we're going to take some furring strip, which I've got enough of, and we're going to measure the width. I think it's 32 or something like that, 33, but anyways. And then we're going to rip it down to the table saw, because we got to come flush with the top of this. And that should do it. And she should fit in there like a glove. A good fitting glove, hopefully. Okay, I've got the furring strip in, and she's flush with the top of the floor. And that's my door stop. Now, as I said, this is 1/2 inch plywood, and so is this. But this is 3/4. The only way I could eliminate that would be to take all this out and put 1/2 inch plywood in here. When the hinges go in, if I mount them right on here directly, I'm going to be pulled out about 1/4 inch over here. Because this stuff is approximately the furring strip is approximately 3/4 inch thick. So I got to mortise out the hinges right here. So we can mortise that out, that's not a problem. We just got to find out where exactly we'll measure to get the proper place where we want the hinge, and we have to make sure we don't pick a spot where the nail is when I mortise this out. Here is what we're flushed out. I mean, we're not pulled in yet all the way, but this is the stop that I put in with the metal. Okay, and you can see how even it is here, but here we're out about 1/4 inch. So we're going to miter mortise the hinges at this point here. It don't matter if this is out like this. I just got to make sure that the door don't get pulled out. Because if I mount the hinges now, tighten up the screws, this end of the door will be even with this, and we don't want that, because then it'll be pulled out too far over here. So we can mortise the two things, but right now I've got shims underneath the door. When you hang a door, you always put shims in the bottom, and here's the 2 paint sticks. And this is the way it is, and water runs down, she'll just run out of here. And there's air circulation under here, as well as a little underneath here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to design a lock that this door is going to stay locked and can be unlocked from the inside. There'll be no lock on the outside. Now, there is a thing that I did not allow for, and I should have. When I made this, I should have really eliminated this and made the opening wider. The generator is 30 inches, but the pull start is at this end, and so is the choke. But I got a solution for that. You just simply open this side door, but you got to open this anyway, so you open the side door, and you wheel the generator out. I'm going to make a drawer. It's going to be a 40-inch long drawer. That's the length of this floor, from that 2x4 right there with my fingers pointing, right to the edge of this is 40 inches. The generator's maximum 30 inches. I'm going to slide out the generator till about 3/4 the way out. I'm going to design a slider. So the generator can slide out, and I can pull the starter here, get it going, choke off and all that happy stuff, slide it back in, have a pin so it sits in one place so it doesn't roll. And if I need to remove the generator, you pull the pin out, you put your ramp up here, open the side door, and wing it right out. Yes, sir. So that's how we're going to do that. So there's going to be no lock on, visible lock on this. There'll be 2 hinges and a pull handle right here. That's the way we're going to do it. No deadbolts or anything like that. We don't want to mess around doing deadbolts. Okay, I'm using my Harbor Freight multi-purpose single-speed tool here to do the mortises. I've never used it for this before. In fact, I've only about the second time I've used this tool. I usually used to use a chisel and stuff. I still have to do it with a chisel a little bit, but most of it I can do with the tool. But it's experimental as far as the depth is concerned, trying to estimate about 1/4 inch in. So I have to kind of like put the door back up there again and make sure how it looks with the hinges. On the bottom, it looks pretty good. She's in about 1/4 inch, so that should do quite well. So we're working on this one now, and we're coming in this way with it, and it's hard to get it where you know, I don't want to come in on an angle like this or too far out, you know, especially going in too deep. I might start out good here and I could end up too deep there, so it's kind of difficult. So I have to take my time with it, and the tool gets pretty warm but not hot, so I give it a break. Well, about 1/2 inch. You want to make sure that I'm going in straight and not on an angle. I think I'm okay. Yeah, we're almost an inch in. About 3/4, a little better than 3/4. Well, I'd rather cut a little at a time than to try to rush it. Well, not perfect. I think I gotta take a little off of here. Not a problem. Because this one fits a little better. This one fits more like 1/4 inch where it should be. I think I might have to go in a little bit more in this, mostly on the bottom, and we'll take a little off of here because we're hitting the pin area here, because we need to get this in. So when we put this in, this pin here, it should be halfway in the crack between the door and the casing. Oh. Okay, let me haul you over here and we'll show you. Now you see, this is pretty, I gotta hold this of course. This is pretty flush with the door. That's what we want. This is pretty flush with the door. Not perfect, a little unevenness here, but I can probably touch that up a little bit, I guess, the chisel. Alright, but that's where she's going to be. Alright, I'm going to smooth this out a little bit and paint these areas here, and then pre-drill and put the hinges on the door. Come back in the video when I'm ready to put the hinges on the door. Okay, we'll put the top hinge in. I got the door shoved over as much as I can get it. We got a good space here, of a good 1/8 inch. And we got the paint sticks at the bottom. We got them pre-drilled here. You got to be careful because we got paint on everything here. If I waited till the paint dried before doing this, I'd never get it done. We set that to 15, I guess. Alright. Hope I got enough of these galvanized screws here. In the video, I get the other hinge. I gotta go get the other hinge and get some more screws. Okay, I'm gonna put the bottom hinge on. I haven't screwed into the door yet. I'm gonna have to use a little shorter screws because they're only going into 1/2 inch plywood. But we are going into the 2x, so we're gonna use the long ones here. But over here is only going into the 1/2 inch plywood, so we have to use smaller screws there. And a pre-drill, of course, when I get ready to do the door part. Right now, we'll just do this side of the jam side of the hinge. I haven't charged the battery yet on this since I had it. Only the one time, you know, when I first got it. Alright, now we're going to re-drill, but not all the way through, just to get the drill started here. Right, now I got to get the shorter screws that go in here and the long ones that go over here in the 2x. Alright, I got them all screwed in, off the rest of them in off camera, so I'll take the wedges out now and try to see how this door works here. Wedges are in there. Wow. Looks like I got some more power planing to do. This is what I was talking about on the angle. I should have angled it instead of planing it flat. I need to go on an angle. And I put a nail in there too, damn it. I'm gonna have to countersink that. We can't have that. It'll go in. But I can power plane it probably right on here, but I'll have to take a punch and bang that in a little bit. Alright, I punched the nails in. They didn't go in too far, so I gotta be very, very careful. I'm gonna try to just take a little at a time. I'm sitting down on the job. If you look at it, it's got a slight angle, because I knew there was going to be a problem when this closes, because your wood is out like this until it gets closer and then it goes in like this. So now, as you can see, she clears. Perfect. So what I want to do now, I'm going to put some wood in here. I think I'm going to drop a 2x6 in here. But I don't want to build too much stuff in here, because inside here is going to be where the exhaust is, or here. There's going to be an exhaust fan. Try to get an 8-inch one. I'm not going to be able to use my 14-inch box fan that I said I was going to use, because I was originally going to put it down at that end, but everybody that I've seen on YouTube that has generator enclosures have just an a vent at that end, and your exhaust fans are pulling air from that end out. In other words, I was originally going to have it blowing across my air intake of the, the carburetor, and just have it go out that way, and just have vents here. But I think the exhaust fan being at this end would be good, and the exhaust itself would probably be coming through here, which means I got to have a way. The exhaust pipe will have the dryer vent on the outside of this, somewhere in here. I'm not sure exactly where, and the pipe would have to be here, but it has to be some way to disconnect it and connect it to the generator. I have not figured that out yet, and I haven't seen anything online as to how to do it. I can't weld anything to the muffler. I don't know how to weld, so I just screw things up really big time if I tried welding. We're going to take these 4 screws out. We're going to put the 2x6 in here, and then we're going to put long screws in there. I may even put bolts in there like I did in the other one. Alright, I put a 2x6 in here, and temporarily put in 2 smaller screws, but enough to grab it. So now we're going to get some long screws and go in here, long that they'll go right through, and probably a little bit on the other side here. And then we'll, when I get the bolts, I'll put bolts in there. So that way the hinges will be really secure. Well, I think that's all I'm going to do for today. I clipped off with the bolt cutters the bolts coming through here and put silicone on the ends of the points that, unless I file them off, and it takes forever to file them off, to flush so you don't get cut on them. So I put silicone on there. And that's the way I did my shed addition. Cut off the roofing nails and put silicone in them on the points, whatever was left coming through the wood. So these are long screws that I got in here now, and I will put a bolt. I'll probably take one of them out and put a carriage bolt or something in there, but I'm not going to worry about it right at the moment. Nothing's going in here yet. I got a long way to go before I put the generator in there. Still got to buy flex tubing for the exhaust, and I'm not sure how I'm going to do that yet. I'll have to look on the internet and see if there's any ideas for connecting it to the muffler. I have to buy the 20-inch vent there if I can get it. So for now, there's no big deal. I just put a clamp in there inside somewhere to hold it shut, but it's not a big deal. But I just want to keep the rain out of here, and I want water getting into the edges of the plywood. I put as much oil base down in there as I could, but once this is done, it'll be closed like that. I'll probably put furring strip across here, but I'm not sure. I might not even do that. This does not have to be airtight. It's just got to be mouse proof, that's all. So, okay. That's it. We go put this door back on it. We'll temporarily put the boards with the nail in them so I can, hold it up there. Put that back until I'm ready to get the locking arrangements done on here. Thank you for watching.